Hey guys, my name is Sarah Schneider, and I am actually a holistic nutritionist. I help mamas reset and heal and nourish their bodies and all of that good stuff, including sustainable weight loss. And I get on here sometimes because you are the manifestation babes, and you guys want to know everything there is about manifesting and enriching your lives and all of that good stuff. And I actually work manifestation practices into my nutrition practice. And I just do it for life stuff, right? Because yes, I'm a nutritionist, but I also, I own my own business and I work from home and I do all of these things in my life that, that I have actually manifested for myself. So today I want to talk about something kind of fun. It's the holidays, and last night I was watching a movie with my kids. It's that Elf movie, and in it, it said there's room for everyone on the nice list. Like that was one of the things that Will Ferrell, as the elf, says, and it was like, I guess the elf's code of ethics or something. I don't know what it was, but it's this idea that there's room for everyone on the nice list. And instantly, we're watching it as a family sitting there, and instantly my mind goes to this. In fact, I got my phone out and I really quick wrote that on my notes on my phone so that I remember to come back and talk about this, because that's it. A lot of times we talk about this whole idea that manifesting is for some people, and like some people are really like kind of like lucky at it almost, or we talk about this idea that there's a finite amount of natural resources, right? There's a finite amount of resources that you have access to, or the opportunities that you have access to, or whatever it is. And that's the thing, is there's room for everybody on the nice list. Like you don't have to choose. Like it's not like you get some, you get some, you don't. You get some, you get some, you don't. It's not like this idea of so I don't want to like call anybody out, but this idea of socialism, right? Where you have all of these resources and we have to divvy it out. We have to give you your little piece of the pie, your little piece of the pie, your little piece of the pie. It's more of this idea that if you want it, it will be created, right? And you will be given it. And this is the thing that it's really hard for someone like me to understand, because I'm a super sciencey person. I'm a nutritionist. I got a degree in dietetics. I took science classes. Like I took things like advanced metabolism, right? So for me, having a lot of like background in organic chemistry and all this stuff, I like super sciencey stuff. I like formulas, but this is different. Like you have to have faith and trust that there's something bigger out there, that that if you ask for it, that it can be created. There's not a finite amount of resources. Everybody gets access to room on the nice list, right? Just if you're just tuning in, it's because I was watching Elf last night with my kids. But it's this idea that there's always enough. There's always going to be more created. So let's say that I don't know what it is you want. What do you want, guys? Houses, careers where you get to work from home. I don't know what it is you want. More money, like more money, more money, more money, right? Everybody wants a little bit more of that, especially around the holiday season. But there's always room for more. And if you are feeling like it's impossible, if you are feeling guilty for wanting more. So like me, I live in a very nice home. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I do. Hey, how are you? How do you say your name? Do you say it? I want to say Dominique. I hope I said that right. Can I call you Bradford? It's a lot easier. But no, I'm glad you're tuning in. So I live in a very nice home. I live in an affluent, suburb of Houston, Texas. And my kids go to amazing schools. Like their school district is one of the top in the country, and it's a public school. We live in a master planned community, right, where I can literally walk to our Sprouts grocery store, or I can walk my kids to school. Do we do that every day? No, but I can, right? And I drive, oh, good, I said it right. I drive, a nice luxury SUV. I have all these things, right? But I still want more. Is that okay? Is that acceptable? Is that fair? Absolutely. And why not, right? Because there's room for everyone to have a spot, to have an opportunity, to have the life that they want to live, right? It doesn't matter how much you have. It doesn't matter how much you don't have. You have the opportunity to live the life of your dreams, right? So when I talk about like, it doesn't matter how much you don't have. So here's the thing. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. My husband did not either. My husband grew up with a single mom, that he grew up living in apartments. I grew up with both of my parents working extremely hard physically. Like my dad was a cop. He still is. 36 years later, he's still a cop. He works for HPD. My mom, she worked her butt off. And that's what I'm saying is I was a first generation college student. So it's not like I was born into this, guys. Like, it's not like it was just something that was handed to me and I just kind of maintained it. It was something that I, wanted for myself. I wanted to pull myself out of this idea that I had to clock in, right? Clock in, put in the hours, put in the time card, work. My dad worked extra shift after extra shift after extra shift. And I didn't have to do that because, number one, I went to college and I got my degree in dietetics and I have this nutrition practice. But number two, because I manifested my life. Like, I manifested everything that I wanted in my life. And now I'm looking around and I have a lot. And there's a little part of me that feels a teeny tiny bit guilty for saying, like, what if I wanted more? I want more, and that's okay. And it was when I was watching the Elf movie last night that I realized, yes, there's room for everybody on the nice list. So it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter, how humble your beginnings were. It doesn't matter how affluent your beginnings were. There's a lot of people out there that came from money that haven't been able to successfully create the life that they want to live. So it doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is your ability to manifest more for yourself. Seriously, like, and when I say that, I'm not like talking like bullshit, right? I'm being serious. Like, that's what matters, is your trust and faith in this idea that you can have more for yourself and that you're entitled to have more, that you're allowed to have more, right? I come from a Christian background. I'm still very much into my faith. Not as much as into the religious part of it, but like the faith, absolutely. Like, I'm very, very I have a very strong relationship with God and all of this kind of stuff. And sometimes it's hard to reconcile these two things, right? It's hard to reconcile this idea that you can be both a Christian and know that there's a higher being out there, and that you can still want more, because a lot of times in the Christian faith we're told that we shouldn't be greedy, right? We should have a servant's heart and all of that kind of stuff. But let me tell you, I have a servant's heart. Like, I give every single day of my life. That's my business, right? I help mamas heal their bodies. I help mamas heal their hearts. I help mamas heal their minds, heal the body-mind connection so that they can lose weight and feel better and live the life of their dreams. So yes, I have a servant's heart. But it doesn't mean that we can't live big. It doesn't mean that we can't have more for ourselves. It doesn't mean that we can't want more for ourselves. I will say this until I am blue in the face. I will say this until the day I die. I don't believe that God said, you get to be successful, you get to be successful, you get to have a lot of money, but you don't. Right? Like, it doesn't work that way. God wants us all to be successful so that we can live our purpose, so that we can better the world around us. Because when we are all living our purpose, and we are all living the life that we were created to live, then the world, it just becomes a better place, right? Yes, I might feel exactly the same way. I knew I was drawn to you first. Thank you. That is so sweet. Yes, because if everybody is living their purpose, it becomes a better place to live. Not everybody wants, 10,000 square foot multi-million-dollar homes. Like, that's not what some people's purpose is. Some people, they want to live like my aunt. She wants to live in a tiny house in the middle of nowhere someday, right? That's living her purpose. So even if you want more, even if you want a bigger house, or if you want a boat, or if you want to own a house in the mountains so that you can go skiing, it doesn't matter, because everybody wants something different, right? So it's okay to want more, because not everybody's going to want the same amount and the same quantities, the same combination and all that, right? It's kind of like, right when I said it, it's kind of like my whole like nourishment blueprint thing. Like, I'm a nutritionist, and I think that like everybody has unique combination of like which foods work for them, which foods don't, unique combination of like psychological factors that influence their ability to show up and their ability to have a positive relationship to food and all of that kind of stuff. And then you have like the logistical stuff. Like if you are a mama of 4 kids under the age of 10, you're going to have different logistical needs than like a single, working woman who's 40 years old, right? It's a different, you're in a different place in life. So it's the same thing here. It's a different, unique combination of what you want out of life, right? So it's okay to want more, because by you having more, by you living your truth, you're going to be able to serve and you're going to be able to give more of yourself, right? Because you're giving your true self, you're giving your true authentic self. Does this all make sense? I hope this makes sense. So anyways, when I say that there's room for everyone on the nice list, it's because there's room for everyone on the nice list. You can have whatever it is that you want. When I talk about manifesting, I'm a visualizer. That's what I've learned over the years. Like, I'm a visualizer. I have a weird thing where when I close my eyes at night, or just like, when I'm resting my eyes, it's kind of like a kaleidoscope of images. Somebody told me one time it's like clairvoyance, but it's not like psychic abilities. It's literally like when I close my eyes, I get these images in my head, right? And that's the connection. This is the connection for me. If you're one of those that gets these images in their head, kind of like a kaleidoscope, where you see different, just random images and you don't really know what they mean, you may be a visualizer manifester, okay? And what that means is that you have to like actually think about it. You have to visualize it. You have to create this story, this movie in your head of how you want things to go, so that it works for you. Versus somebody who's like my phone's going off. Versus somebody who's like a journaler. I do journaling. I do journaling in my nutrition practice. My clients do journaling. If you're one of my clients, you know you do journaling. But this is different. When I manifest, I don't journal because it doesn't work for me. I visualize because that's what works for me. If I'm journaling, it's because I'm trying to sort something out. I'm trying to go deep and figure out my why, right? The core root why of why something is going on, whether it's, like I said, nutritionally because I'm a nutritionist, or if it's something that's psychological. So something that, a limiting belief, something that I'm trying to figure out what's just not clicking, where's the block? A lot of people call them blocks, right? And I've had those over the years, trust me, and that's where the journaling comes in. But maybe you're a visualizer. So, like I said, there's room for everybody on the nice list. You just have to figure out, number one, what you want. And I say this a lot, but a lot of us don't really know what we want. We know we want more, we know we want better, but we don't know what is really going to fulfill us. And if you don't know that, that's okay. But you're going to have to discover that for yourself. Like, you're going to have to figure out what that is, what that looks like for yourself before you can move forward. Because if it's not aligned with your true authentic self, it's not going to happen. There's a lot of times where we think we want something, and I call them like unanswered prayers, right? There's a lot of times we think we want something, but it's not coming from our true authentic self, and it's not coming from a place that serves everyone. So like, if you say, I want my ex-husband to fall off the cliff, like, that's not serving anybody, right? And I say that only because I have an ex-husband. No, but seriously, like, you can't manifest in that way. It doesn't work because it doesn't serve everybody, right? And it's not from your true authentic self. My true authentic self doesn't want anybody to fall off the cliff and die. Like, that's not, you get where I'm going this, right, guys? That's not helpful to anybody, right? It's not who I am, and it's not going to serve somebody else. So you have to really think about, like, what do you want? Sorry, that's my coffee cup. What do you want? And if you don't know what it is, that's okay, but start thinking about it. Start journaling. Start figuring out who you are and what it is that you want to accomplish in your life. Like, what it is that you want to do with your life. And sometimes, yeah, we're 40 years old and we don't know what the hell we want to do, and that's okay. Like, you don't have to have it all figured out. But this is your chance to start thinking about it. It's the new year, 2018, right? Almost 2018. And so it's time to start figuring this out. It's time to start looking inside of yourself for those answers. Okay, so like I said, there's room for everyone on the nice list. And this is the second part of this. So the other day, we spent all weekend doing family stuff, like kids stuff. Saturday, morning we woke up and we were going to go through the whole Santa Claus thing. If you have young children, you know that that is like the worst thing to look forward to ever, because you have like one 5-second magical experience of watching your kids line up to see Santa Claus, and then you stand in line for like 2 hours to like get to Santa Claus, and then you get out of that line and you get to another line to get your photos, right? And it's like horrible. And every year, it doesn't matter how we do it, right? I can go and schedule a time, an appointment with Santa, but then 35 other people get the same appointment time as me, and you're still waiting in the big long line, or you just show up and you hope for like whatever happens, right? So anyways, we are on our way to go see Santa, and my husband and my two little girls are in the car, and I told them, I said, well, truck, we're in Texas. I said, okay, look, we are going to visualize this, right, guys? We are going to visualize all of this going super easy, super fast, right? We're just gonna get in there, and there's gonna be no line, and I like painted this picture of ease and amazingness. See, you're feeling me, Dominique. Like, yes, it's like the line you dread. The Santa Claus line is like, oh, but you do it because you're a mom, and like that's what you do, right? So I'm like visualizing, I'm like painting this whole picture of how it's gonna go. It's gonna be so easy, and we're gonna walk right in. And guess what, guys? We walked right in and we saw Santa Claus like that. I kid you not. It was like the most amazing experience ever. And my 8-year-old turns to me, she goes, Mom, you're such a believer. And I don't even know what that means, but that's what she says. She goes, you're such a believer. And I said, yeah, being a believer worked, right? Look at this. And she goes, do you really think that that was connected? I'm like, hell yes, it was connected. I didn't say hell yes to her. I said, heck yeah, that was connected. And she goes, no, seriously, you really think that you thought that and it just happened? I'm like, yes, that's what I've been trying to tell you, kid. Like, this stuff works. And it's so stupid, right? It's just a Santa Claus line. But it works. You set the intention, you put it out there, you visualize it in your head, or you write it on a piece of paper, whatever it is, whatever your method is. It doesn't matter the method. It just matters how it influences your brain, right? And we're all made so differently because there's 80 million variances in the human genome. 80 million variances. On top of that, all of your life experiences that have shaped that 80 million different variances of DNA in a different way, right? So everybody approaches it differently. You have to figure out what works best for you. But this stuff works. And, you know, my kid says, like, I can't believe you're such a believer. But you know what? By the end of the day, she's like, oh my God, everything went so perfect today. Like, this was the most perfect day ever. And I'm like, yeah, because you put the intention out there. You visualized it. And here's the very last key point. Hey, good morning. Okay, you guys are really, so my big thing about names is like, I don't like to mess up names. So when I have calls with people that I've never spoken to before, the very first question, if I'm like confused about how to say their name, the very first question is, hey, how are you? Can you please tell me your name? Can you please say your name? Because I don't want to butcher names. So we have Dominique. I got that one. I nailed it. Is it Gaty or Gaity? Gaity? I'm thinking that's what it is. Hi. Sorry, I really don't like butchering names, and I feel like God's giving me this lesson this morning to like get me comfortable with saying names that I don't know very well. So I hope I didn't butcher it. So, anyways, 2 things. There's room for everyone on the nice list, and all right, so that doesn't help me very much. Geety, is it Geety? Geety maybe? Hopefully I got that one better. Can I call you Jasmine? I know that one. I got that one, girl. Okay, so there's 2 things. Yes! All right, I nailed it. I love being able to know, because you know what? My name is Sarah, but people will, I have an H at the end of my name, obviously, you can see that. But people will put that H everywhere. Like, it's unbelievable where they will stick that H, and it drives me nuts. And then my sister, I have a twin sister, so I answer to Anna as well. But her Anna is double N. It's A-N-N-A. And we live in Texas. And so everybody always drops the N because, well, there are more Annas in Texas than Anna. So anyways, names are kind of a big thing for me. And my poor daughter, one of them has a fairly common name, but there's one letter in there that I always have to pronounce and like say, be like boy. So anyways, never mind. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, two things. There's room for everybody. So if you think that like you're not allowed or you're not entitled or you don't deserve goodness in your life, or you don't deserve, yes, I can call you Jasmine. Great, Geety. If you don't deserve more in life, you need to do some journaling work on that, because you do. You absolutely do, 100%. So if you just need somebody to hear that, I'm saying it right now for you. You deserve it. You're entitled to it. You are worthy of it. Whatever it is that is causing you to think or doubt, then know this, you are worthy. And if you're feeling guilty, like I already have so much, but you know, can I really ask for more? That means that you're thinking that you don't deserve it. So go there, figure that out, right? 2, be a believer. Not a believer like Justin Bieber, but a believer. Like my 8-year-old said, you're such a believer. Yes, be a believer. Have faith, have trust that this stuff works when you put it into action. Have faith, have trust. And that is hard. And I'm coming from somebody who is a super sciencey person. Like I literally took classes on advanced metabolism and things like that, biochemistry. This is coming from somebody who shouldn't be telling you right now, have faith, have trust. You know what I mean? Like I'm not some free spirit. I'm not. I'm like, look at me. I'm like completely buttoned up, right? That's how I am. But you can still have faith and trust. And you've got to have faith and trust, or it will never work. There are some people that believe in acupuncture. Let's just say, for example, if you believe in acupuncture, right? And it works and it's fantastic. There are other people that will say, you should totally do it, it works. And they go in, but they don't believe that it'll ever work. Like they're like, this is nonsense. Yeah, it's not gonna work for you, buddy. Like it's just not, right? It's scientifically proven to work for all of you sciencey people. But if you don't believe that it's going to work, it's not gonna work. If you want to find negative, you're gonna find negative. If you wanna find positive, you're gonna find positive. So focus on what you want and put all of your faith and trust in it. And this is the holiday season. So this is where childlike faith kind of comes in, right? This is where you guys need to really like take a big deep breath and put yourself back into that spot when you were a kid and that you believed and you had faith that things would work out. Or maybe you never did. Maybe that's where you need to go. I don't know who, like that. Wow. I don't know who that message is for, but it's for someone on this call, because I never would have thought about that until just now. So someone needed to hear that. Whoever you are out there. Maybe it was something that you never had. Wow. Maybe it was something that you never, ever, ever had. You never had faith in having more because you grew up in such humble beginnings and you never had enough and you never thought you could ever get out of that. I literally have goosebumps. That's for somebody. So I don't know if that's for someone on the call right now or for a replay, but that's for somebody. But either way, you have to know that you are allowed and you have to believe. Okay. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I'm going to hop off because I've got a call at 10. Yeah, if you have any questions, PM me. If you didn't catch this, if you're just like hopping on or you didn't catch this, go back and watch the replay. Because I talked all about how it made sense. If you like go back and watch the replay, it makes sense. Okay. So anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye, ladies. Thank you for challenging me on the name thing, Dominique and Geety, Jasmine. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.